Thema ein Ffair wirfoddol heddi yw celf, Threftadaeth a Diwylliant. Today's fair will have a focus on the arts, culture and heritage opportunities in Ceredigion.
Welcome to the National Library of Wales in Aberystwyth. The library's purpose is to make our culture and heritage accessible to all, to learn, to research and to enjoy. And you can help us to achieve this by volunteering for the library. It's a large building, but there's a very warm welcome waiting for you when you step inside. You can discover the history of Wales and its people throughout the centuries within the collections, be it through manuscripts, maps, photographs, books, and much more. I'll tell you a little bit more now about our current volunteering opportunities. There are lots of opportunities to create electronic versions of index cards. This makes their content more searchable. It can also help our volunteers to improve their skills in using Microsoft Excel. You can view 20th century history and current affairs programs, and we ask our volunteers to prepare a summary of the content and the main themes of these ITV Wales programs. These are meteorological registers from the 1850s and onwards. There's a record of daily barometer, thermometer and rain gauge readings, as well as a short diary entry. This will be really useful information for anyone interested in climate change. Here, a volunteer is searching through old newspapers for cartoons by month and looking for the corresponding story in the newspaper. At the same time, it can be amusing and sometimes quite nostalgic to browse the headlines, the photos and the adverts. The volunteering scheme works in partnership with other programs. Here, a volunteer has digitised a collection of images and is now making them web ready to be uploaded to the People's Collection Wales website. There's an opportunity to receive accredited training in digitising images. If you can't get to the library building, you can volunteer for us from your home by going to torf.llyfrgell.cymru. Choose a language, choose the project you want to work on. You'll have to register on the website the first time you visit, and then after that you'll just log in. There are full guidelines step by step on the help page. You can either tag the content of a photograph, or you can describe the whole photograph. Full details of our volunteering opportunities can be found on our website. Or you can email us on volunteering@library.wales.
Pam dylwn ni wirfoddoli gyda'r mentrau iaith? Mae gwirfoddoli gyda'r mentrau iaith yn eich arfogi gyda sgiliau gwerthfawr y byd gwaith, yn ffordd hwyliog i dreulio'ch amser rhydd, yn ychwanegu at eich CV, yn rhoi cyfle i chi ymarfer eich Cymraeg, yn gyfle i chi wneud gwahaniaeth yn y gymuned. Drwy wirfoddoli gyda'ch menter iaith leol, gallwch chi helpu i gynyddu a chryfhau'r defnydd o'r Gymraeg yn ein cymunedau. Drwy wirfoddoli gyda'ch menter iaith leol, gallwch wneud gwahaniaeth. I ddarganfod mwy am wirfoddoli gyda'ch menter iaith, ewch i mentrauiaith.cymru.
Ydych chi eriod wedi meddwl, pwy yw Cered? A beth i ni'n neud?
Cered yw menter iaith Ceredigion, a'n gwaith ni yw hybu a datblygu'r Gymraeg fel iaith gymunedol ar draws Ceredigion.
Ni'n wneud hyn trwy drefnu neu gefnogi gweithgareddau a chydweithio gyda phartneriaid i ddatblygu prosiectau cyffrous ac arloesol.
Gallwn hefyd rannu adnoddau gyda chi fel un offer cyfieithu mwyn gwneud cynnal digwyddiadau Cymraeg yn haws mewn byd dwyieithog.
Ac os ych chi'n rhedeg busnes, mi allwn ni helpu chi ddatblygu'r defnydd o Gymraeg o fewn y cwmni.
Beth bynnag eich gallu ieithyddol, beth bynnag eich cefndir, mae Cered yma i'ch helpu chi. Felly beth am gysylltu â ni am sgwrs?
Hi, very good evening. Welcome once again to Fish Fry.
Mae Radio Aber yn orsaf radio lleol newydd sy'n dod â radio lleol yn ôl i'r gymuned. Da ni'n brwydro yn erbyn unigrwydd ac yn uno cymunedau trwy roi llais i bobl leol.
Helo, siwmai, Prynhawn da Steff Simato. Croeso i Cefn yr Oed, y sioe ar Radio Aber sy'n trafod straeon pêl-drod y penwythnos yn Gymraeg, boed hynny'n pêl-drod lleol, cenedlaethol neu rywle yn y canol. A ochr arall studio Radio Aber. Mae'n gydweithiwr i Rodri Francis.
Fi dathlu di ennill gêm gatre am y tro gyntaf tymor mas, so get in there boys, brilliant.
Hoffe ti sôn am y peth cyffroes sy'n digwydd yn yr ardd gymunedol dros y penwythnos?
Dwi'n rhan o grŵp sy'n gweithio gyda Perllan. Byddwn ni'n casglu'r afalau, cynaeafu'r afalau, a byddwn ni'n mynd â nhw i ardd gymunedol Penglais.
This past Saturday, the farmers' market was finally able to reopen. The reopening of the market was welcome after it had to close for so long.
We had to adapt because the markets weren't on as they used to be, but it's a job to be face-to-face selling like this. It's such an atmosphere and just more homely. It's fantastic. It's just so lovely to see all the people out and about doing what they enjoy doing, and thus visiting all the producers and buying with them.
The Saturday Supplement.
Bore da a croeso. Good morning and welcome listeners to tuning in for the Saturday Supplement, the show where we cover the week's top local and national football divisions, club and player stories and speculations in the back pages, along with all upcoming fixtures and major football events over the weekend.
Enticed the defender to come and challenge him, shall we say. Matty Jones now, right-hand corner, 4-1, Matty Jones hat-trick. And Aberystwyth comfortable.
And very clinical finish from the penalty spot there from Matty Jones. 2 from the penalty spot today, and as well as that, he had his third that was an absolutely tremendous hit from just outside the penalty box in the first half, just before half time. So Matty Jones, I'm guessing, gets to take the football home with him today.
He gets to take the football home, yeah.
Mae gwirfoddolwyr yn gweithio ar bob rhan o'n gorsaf, o gyflwyno I gynhyrchu yr ochr technegol yn y swyddfa a llawer mwy. I ddarganfod mwy am wirfoddoli gyda Radio Aber, cysylltwch â ni heddiw. Radio Aber!
Thank you so much for the videos you sent in. They were lovely. Diolch yn fawr iawn am yr fideos. Mae'n braf I weld y 4 wahanol lle sydd yn edrych amdano gwirfoddolwyr ar y funud. Thank you so much. It's lovely to see 4 different organisations looking for volunteers at the moment. I think I'd be struggling to decide where I would be heading to volunteer after watching those 4 videos. Thank you. They're really nice. So before we go any further then, before we have a general chat about volunteering, what I'd like to do is just go around the table and just get everybody to introduce themselves, just so that our viewers can have an idea of who they'd be talking to and who they'd be liaising with if they were interested in volunteering with your organisations. So, Llynos, Gwyneth, byddech chi ai gyda chi, os ych chi'n hapus I cyflwyno'ch hunan, a gyda pwy mudiad ych chi'n... Sorry, I'll do that a bit again. Sorry, byddech chi'n gyda chi Gwyneth, os hoffech chi cyflwyno'ch hunan, please.
Helo, bawb, Gwyneth ydw I, a os ydych chi'n dewis dod I wirfoddoli yn y Llyfrgell Genedlaethol yn Aberystwyth, neu ar-lein I ni y fi yw'r person I chi gysylltu ag e. Hello, I'm Gwyneth. I'm the Volunteers Coordinator for the National Library of Wales, based in Aberystwyth.
Diolch fawr iawn I chi Gwyneth, a croeso chi yma heddi. Diolch fawr iawn I chi am fod gyda ni. David, I'll come to you next, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name is David. I work for the Havant Trust on the Havant Estate. And I've been the estate manager here for 13 years, and that includes working with volunteers, managing groups of volunteers, and I'm extremely lucky to be here.
Brilliant, thank you so much, and welcome to our volunteering fair as well. It's lovely to have you here with us today. Sam, croeso, pnawn da, welcome. Yeah, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Helo, diolch Sam dwi o Radio Aber, y gorsaf radio lleol newydd yn Aberystwyth. I'm Sam from Radio Aber, the new local radio station.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Sam. Llynos, croeso, os hoffech chi cyflwyno'ch hunan, please.
Diolch, fel mae Ruth wedi gweud, Llynos yn fan hyn o Cered, Mentoriaeth Geredigion. Dwi ni yn... Fi'n mynd yn blanc fel maen nhw'n gweud, mae wastad yn peth pan ni'n gwneud y pethau yma. Os ydych chi moyn dod I wirfoddoli gyda ni o ran y fenteriaeth, byddai croeso I chi gysylltu gyda ni yn Cered, gyda fi, sydd yn swyddog datblygu yma, neu gyda un o'r swyddogion arall sydd yn gweithio I Cered. So excuse my blank mind today, but I work for Cered, which is the language initiative in Ceredigion, and you're more than welcome to get in touch with us if you want some volunteering opportunities.
Thank you, Llynos, diolch. Sometimes it's the easiest questions that sort of make us just go, oh, I've forgotten what I need to say.
Most definitely.
So, diolch yn fawr iawn I ti Llynos, y croeso ti yma heddi, diolch yn fawr iawn. And I'd just like to ask my fellow Cafl teams if they can just introduce themselves as well for those people watching today via Facebook or on YouTube. If you get in contact with any of us in Cafl, you might be talking to one of us 3. So, Trish, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Trish Louis. I'm Trish, one of the volunteering officers at Cafl. Un o'r swyddogion Gwirfoddoli. Nes I gwrdd â chi gyd.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Trish. Kate?
Hi, I'm Kate, and also part of the volunteering team at Cavo.
Great, thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr iawn. And yeah, I'm Ruth. I'm also one of the volunteering officers based in Cafo in Lampeter. Currently, we're all working from home, but it's work as usual. It's still getting on with it. Plenty of volunteers, potential volunteers phoning in, contacting us, wanting volunteering opportunities. So it's lovely to be able to put on this volunteering fair for you again today. And today we've got, as you can see through the videos, our focus is art, culture and heritage. So heddi, ein ffocws ni gyda yr Ffair Gwirfoddoli hyn yw'r Celfyddydau, Diwylliant a Threftadaeth. Felly, ni wedi gweld y videos, we've watched the videos, so let's just have a bit of a basic chat now then, just so that some of the volunteers, potential volunteers who may want to come and volunteer with yourselves at your organisations, just kind of a bit of an idea about, you know, what it's like at the moment, how are things with yourselves in the organisations? Are you taking on volunteers currently? Yes, you are. So if we can just have a bit of a chat about how has volunteering changed within your organisation over the 12 months, over the last 12 months? What's it like to volunteer with you now at your organisations? So anyone want to start us off? Who's going to go for it, or shall I pick somebody?
Sy'n gwneud fi na i ddechrau ysdysio.
Go on, de, Llynas.
Fel mae wedi bod I bawb, dwi'n meddwl, mae'r 20 mis diwetha wedi bod yn dipyn yn galetach o ran cyfleoedd I wirfoddoli. Sy'n ni'n gweud, yr 6 mis I 8 mis cynta, mae wedi bod yn fwy at bobl sefyllfa sydd moyn gwirfoddoli ar-lein fel I ni'n neud nawr, bod yn rhan o grwpau neu bod yn gymorth I bobl allan yn y gymuned. A wedyn, dim ond nawr yn dechrau edrych mewn I ail gynnal gweithgareddau mas yn y gymuned yn wyneb yn wyneb. So the last, as I'm sure we've all been through it together, and the last 12 months has been pretty hard. So the last, I would say 8 to 10 months have been looking at more online activities where you can volunteer your time in different groups, etc. And we're only now starting to get a hold of the different activities that we used to do and starting to put those kind of plans in place for, I would say, the next 6 months. So still not out, I would say, face-to-face activities, but we're starting to just put a couple of dates in the diary.
Are you finding then that the volunteers that you currently have who are doing all that online volunteering with you, are they really sort of, you know, chomping at the bit to get back out there? Are they happy to stay with online, or is it a bit of both?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest with you, because with regards to being online, as we're all most probably socially aware that not everybody is online. So, you know, we're, I think, more concerned about those that are out there in the community that we've always been in contact with that are not getting that interaction at the moment. I think that's the biggest concern for us, as I'm sure it's for all of us with regards to volunteering. So our volunteers are there in order to engage with people and make sure that they have opportunities. So, yeah, my mas i'r gymuned I ni angen, achos mae yna grwpiau penodol I gael sydd ddim yn cael y cyfleoedd na. Nid yn unig I gwirfoddoli, ond hefyd I fod mewn cyswllt gyda'n gwirfoddolwyr ni mewn gweithgareddau.
Gret, ie. A mae'n eisgwyl gwybod wedi bod y gwirfoddolwyr nawr gyda chi 2 flynedd yn ôl wedi symud I fod yn gwirfoddolwyr ar-lein os bosib, a nawr maen nhw'n mynd I symud nôl falle mewn I fod yn gwirfoddolwyr allan yn y gymuned. It's nice to know that potentially that, you know, the volunteers that you had previously are now online and would hopefully want to go back out into the community then and support the groups that you have.
Yeah, yn sicr. A maen nhw wedi hefyd, fel sy'n ni wedi newid eu swyddogaeth nhw o ran gwirfoddoli. Achos bod ni wedi gorfod ymdopi gyda sefyllfa angredadwy a bod yn onest, maen ni wedi gweld I fi tebyg oedden ni. Mae I gwaith gwirfoddoli nhw wedi newid yn sgil, maen nhw wedi bod yn helpu'r gymuned un wrth un yn mynd I chwilio prescriptions neu mynd I moyn fel yn gweud, meddyginiaeth neu mynd â pobl I apwydiadau os oedd yr angen yna. A hefyd mynd allan y bwyd, o'n i'n bach teimlo un ar adeg, bach fel Tesco delivery. Dim Tesco delivery, oedd o pob un yn gwirfoddoli amser. So it's just fantastic to see them adapting and changing their roles, getting getting more involved with other community organisations as well that we work with, to get prescriptions and a medication, and making sure that people could get to certain appointments because they didn't have their usual connections, etc. So mae fe'n wych fel mae bob gwirfoddolwr yn rhoi o'i hamser ac yn cefnogi pethau sydd yn mynd ymlaen.
Mae'n neis I weld ni, and I think we can say that we've got a good calibre of volunteers in Ceredigion, haven't we? Mae'r gwirfoddolwyr sydd wedi bod gyda ni yn Ceredigion ar draws y flwyddyn a hanner diwetha yma wedi bod yn rhai, maen nhw wedi bod yn hollol amazing, ond ydyn nhw really wedi fel ti'n weud, wedi gallu newid fyd o beth nhw'n gwirfoddoli fel yn Rhithiol I ymateb gyda'r sefyllfa a bod yn hapus I wirfoddoli yn y gymuned a'i newid y ffordd maen nhw'n gwirfoddoli hefyd.
Yn sicr, diolch yn fawr iddyn nhw gyd.
Yn bendant, David, how are things with you up there in the Hafod then? How are you?
Okay, well, obviously, with the COVID restrictions and things changed a bit. Even though most of our work is outdoors, we weren't allowed to let people in the building, for example. Welcome to the Havard Estate office, by the way, and provide the sort of welfare facilities that they needed. So it got a bit tricky. Now that we're allowed back in, we never stopped work. We carried on working and did all the fun footpath maintenance jobs that volunteers would have loved. So it was a crying shame that they weren't there. And I suppose the other thing that has changed is that the countryside management course in Aber shut down, and we lost all the volunteers that were doing work placements with us. So now we've actually managed to do some other things. We're trying to encourage more individuals, because the more people that come here and get an experience out of it, and we can tailor tasks to their ability or what their interests are, and all things like that. So it's just about expanding the value and the outputs that we're putting out, sort of on a community level. We're a not-for-profit charity, so it's all about what we're providing for the community, and on top of that, we've got a couple of great individuals coming now. We'd like to encourage more. We've got a good link up with the homeless charity Woolwich. They've started to come on Thursdays, and we've done a couple of good tasks with them, so that's good. And we've still got our volunteer gardening days going on in Mrs. John's flower garden, which has gone down quite well this summer. The last one you can attend is a week tomorrow, and that's a great way to come and meet us, get involved in a little something on the estate. It's mostly weeding and pruning and things like that in the garden, but it's bizarrely people find it quite therapeutic, and it's a nice way to reach out to the community, and we provide tea and coffee and biscuits and things like that. So
always important, keep them fed and watered.
So that's roughly where we're at.
So with yourselves, obviously coming into the winter months, then do you sort of obviously you need volunteers. Do you reduce your volunteers over the winter time, obviously because of the weather, the conditions, or do you still have things that you need them to do over winter?
Do you know what? Our tasks change slightly seasonally. So, for instance, we've done a lot of like trimming and grass cutting and vegetation clearance over the summer, but we haven't had the student volunteers we'd usually have to get on with the sort of keeping the way markers on the paths up to scratch and painting handrails or fixing small things like that. So I suppose we've been a bit on our own this summer. The volunteer garden days has really helped us keep on top of the gardens. In the winter, things will change, and we tend to get round to more little projecty tasks. So like upgrading sections of paths, or replacing old stiles, or a bit of dry stone walling, or some more outdoory projects instead of the usual sort of run-of-the-mill maintenance stuff. So no, it doesn't really slow down in the winter, but I'd say it's what are people interested in doing, and what what are they keen to have a go at. So just get in touch, and we can try and sort of, you know, tailor make a day and a task to suit the right person. And yeah,
they've got to like the good British Welsh weather as well, haven't they? Really, because saying that though, our summers can be wetter than our winters, so it's it all depends on the day.
There was a section of wall on our video that we still haven't finished, and we did all that in February with a sort of -3 degrees howling easterly wind. So, and that was during lockdown with me and my colleague Simon. So I don't know, you know, if you like that sort of thing, I do.
Yeah, you've got
get
people
involved.
Yeah, you've got people who like just to be outdoors. It doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's sunny, if it's wet, windy. You know, if they're outdoors and they've got a task that they need to do, then they're more than happy to come along and just do the task. So
we've had people who might be physically, you know, impaired or less able in some way, and we could, you know, by taking them around the estate and showing them bits and pieces, it adds value to the whole place. So, you know, in any capacity, we can do something for people, and it's, you know what it's about. It's all about this Health and Wellbeing Act, and we're not for profit, and we're working on Welsh Government land, and we're trying to hit those objectives. So that's what we're all about. So it's
brilliant.
Yeah, we're fairly flexible, really.
Excellent, good. Yeah, so if anybody comes along to want to volunteer with yourselves, you definitely have a task or a job that they can do, whatever their, as you say, whatever their ability and whatever whatever they feel like they want to do or they can do, really. So that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Nothing can hold them back then. Amazing. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Gwyneth, shwt mae pethau wedi newid gyda chi yn y llyfrgell dros y cyfnod diwetha yma o 12 mis?
Ie, wel, fel pawb wrth gwrs mae pethau wedi newid yn sylweddol, ond gython ni lot o'n gwirfoddolwyr ni oedd yn gallu mynd i rai tasgau ar-lein dros y cyfnod clo. A buon ni'n cadw, hyd yn oed y rhai o ddim falle eisiau gwneud tasgau ar-lein, buon ni'n cadw mewn cysylltiad efo'n gwirfoddolwyr i gyd ar Zoom. We did keep in touch with our volunteers over the lockdown through Zoom chats. The volunteers used to have coffee together. We put them in groups, and then we caught up with them on a regular basis over Zoom. For the last 3 months, we have been reintroducing volunteers to the library building. Ni'n ffodus mae adeilad mawr gyda ni, felly mae posib cadw pellter yn weddol hawdd yma. Ond mae'r llyfrgell yn le diogel, y rhai sydd falle'n poeni o hyd ynglyn â Covid. Mae'r adeilad i hunan, mae yna system un ffordd o gwmpas yma. I ni'n parhau wisgo masgau pan ni'n cerdded o gwmpas yr adeilad, ond wrth gwrs ni'n tynnu masgau pan ni'n iste wrth yn gwaith ac yn y blaen. So the library it feels very safe here. I've been back here now for 4 months. We've got about 20 volunteers who've come back who were volunteering with us before Covid. We have prioritised the ones who are living alone or who maybe had particular needs and mental health issues. And so we have been prioritising the health and well-being of our volunteers. It's very safe here. We've got a one-way system around the building. We wear masks when we're moving around, but not obviously when we're sat carrying out our task or our work, whatever. Felly mae pethau yn dod nôl I fwcwl yn ara deg. I ni'n edrych I ymestyn eto dros y 2 fis nesaf yma. A wrth gwrs mae rhai o'n gwirfoddolwyr ni oedd yn fyfyrwyr wedi symud mlaen erbyn hyn. Felly wy'n gobeithio o fewn y mis neu rai nesaf byddwn ni'n gallu derbyn gwirfoddolwyr newydd. Yn sicr mae yna ddigon o dasgau ar-lein gallwn ni gynnig o hyd, ond wy'n gwybod bod rhai bobl yn awyddus I ddod I gymdeithasu hefyd, achos mae hynny'n elfen mor bwysig o wirfoddoli, ynddo e. Over the next couple of months, I'm hoping we'll be in a position to introduce new volunteers as well as our current volunteers. But there are quite a few opportunities, as you've seen on our video, online as well. But obviously, we like our volunteers. We like to meet them and socialise with them. So it's good to have people back in the building. And I think we all like routine in our lives, don't we? And that's what volunteering can give us, is a reason to leave the house. It gives us some kind of structure to our week. And it helps us all to sort of try and feel as if we're getting back to some kind of normality anyway.
Gret, diolch Gwynedd. Mae'n braf I glywed, fel I chi yn dod â'r gwirfoddolwyr nôl mewn i'r llyfrgell, bod chi yn canolbwyntio arno rhywna sydd efallai ar angen fwyaf I cael y cymdeithasu yna. It's nice to see that you're sort of focusing on those isolated and lonely volunteers, getting them back in first. So that's good to know. So if anybody is looking to volunteer with yourselves at the moment, they just get in touch with you. You've got plenty of tasks still ongoing that need volunteers.
Mae'n amser cyffroes iawn achos mae gyda ni brosiectau newydd yn cychwyn hefyd, ac yn arbennig mae yna brosiect ynglyn ag archif ddarlledu, prosiect fawr dros y blynyddoedd nesaf. Mae archifau BBC Cymru yn dod yma, archif BBC Cymru, mae archif ITV Cymru yma'n barod, a mae archif S4C yn mynd I ddod yma hefyd. So we've got a very large and growing broadcasting archive, and there's a new project starting in the new year, and there'll be a lot of very, very, well, I believe, interesting and fulfilling volunteering opportunities associated with that project as well. So,
Ydy hwnna'n gyfle wedyn I dim ond I wneud yn y llyfrgell, neu ydy hwnna'n rhywbeth maen nhw'n gallu wneud ar-lein hefyd wedyn ni?
Mae yna waith estyn allan yn rhan o'r prosiect yna. Fydd yna grwpiau yn gallu dod i'r llyfrgell, ond byddwn ni'n estyn allan hefyd at grwpiau yn y gymuned.
Gret, diolch yn fawr iawn I chi Gwynedd. Mae swnio'n cyffroes iawn yn y llyfrgell yn Aberystwyth yn ystod y blynyddoedd nesaf fel chi'n gweud, dim jyst y misoedd nesaf, yn y blynyddoedd nesaf I ddod. Felly, pob lwc I chi dy hwnna. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Sam, so how have things changed with, or have things changed then with Radio Aber over the last few months with yourselves?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I can't really comment on what it was like for us before lockdown and COVID came, because we're very new as an organisation, and we've just really started having volunteers working with us this year. But yeah, over the last few months, things have changed a lot. We're able to have more people coming into the studios to produce things with us now. We've still got a mixture of people working from home and coming into the studios to work and broadcast with us. I think it's good that we've got that sort of mixture. You can pretty much do anything from home with a computer and a microphone, and but also our studio space is open. We've got quite a few different rooms, so we're able to keep people apart by working in different rooms, which is really handy. We've got a nice location here as well, so worth people coming in to see.
Are you also looking then for volunteers to do outside broadcasting at the moment? Is that something that you're not ready to do yet, or yes, you're happy to welcome them to do that?
Absolutely. So we want volunteers to be part of every single thing we do, and part of what we do is being out in the community and broadcasting out with the community. So we have weekly football commentaries, for example, and sports events that people are going out and broadcasting from. We also have sort of more journalism style work, going out and meeting local people, local businesses, going to local events and covering what's going on, and yeah, that's something that's very much happening at the moment, and we're very ready for people to be involved in that.
I suppose with things starting to reopen now and events now starting to take place more, I suppose you've got more things happening now anyway, so that you can go out and interview people on the streets face to face. That's a nice interaction, but again, being in the studio, as you say, that's an important part of the role of a volunteer with yourselves there at Radio Aber. Brilliant. Thank you, Sam. It's lovely to hear that. And it's nice to know that, the radio station it's started back up again. It's going from strength to strength. You're getting people involved. And obviously then you're looking for people to broadcast in Welsh and in English. You've got both language.
Yes, so dyn ni'n cynnig gwasanaeth dwyieithog. Mae croeso mawr I pobl sydd eisiau darlledu yn y Gymraeg. Dyn ni'n chwilio am bobl sy'n gallu gwneud rhaglenni Cymraeg. Dyn ni eisiau sort of tyfu'r ochr yna o'r wasanaeth. Definitely bilingual broadcasting is a big and important thing for us. But yeah, so anybody that wants to either come and create programs as a Welsh speaker or who wants to improve their Welsh language skills as well. I know we've been working a lot with Cered and Llynos and the team there. So there's lots of opportunities for sort of linking up and working across projects to do with the Welsh language as well, and also, you know, coming into an environment where you can improve your Welsh language skills as well as a volunteer. That's important. And yeah, no, it's all going to be big change over the coming months. So it's a good time to get involved in Radio Aber. At the moment, we're an online radio service, but we're going to be launching our FM service over the next few months, and that is going to be happening. Now, we've been saying for a long time, oh, it's coming very soon, but it's it's very sure now. So yeah, it's going to be big changes. We're going to be growing very fast, and it's going to be an exciting time.
So with yourselves there, then, if any potential volunteers would like to, you know, become a volunteer with Radio Aber, but what they want to do doesn't happen at the moment, and they've got an idea perhaps of a kind of show or a chat show or some kind of topical, that you're quite open then to people coming with ideas, or do you have set schedules that you sort of adhere to and want volunteers to fit into what you have planned already?
Definitely a little bit of both, but we are very, very open to ideas and stuff, and that's the whole idea, because what we're doing is different to other radio stations. It's not like we are the BBC or a big commercial radio group that's got certain targets to meet in that respect. Our targets are to create programs for the community, by the community, and that means that we need the community to come up with the ideas and create programs. So anybody that wants to do something, we're almost able there to sort of facilitate it. But on the other hand, we've got to make sure it's an idea that will sort of go well and be popular as well. So there's certain things we have to think about how we schedule it and where it goes out. But definitely new ideas are what it's all about, because, you know, we can't come up with all the ideas. So.
No, of course not. Brilliant. That's lovely to hear. Well, hopefully you'll get some potential new volunteers now and new ideas from this volunteering fair, from some of the viewers maybe out there who are watching today and have an interest or have an idea. Even if they have an idea, they don't want to be the broadcaster, they can still send through any ideas possibly for any kind of show that you have on Radio Aber.
Yeah, that's it. That's brilliant. And that's an important thing to note, really, is that there's so many. If you did want to volunteer, but you don't want to be on air, you're frightened of speaking into the microphone or whatever, there's so many roles sort of behind the scenes and putting those programs together that, you know, there's a lot of work and a lot of people that go into putting a program together that you'll never hear their voices on the radio. So.
Yeah, as you say, that's an important part as well of the radio programme, isn't it? As you say, there's so much that goes on behind. Mae'n gymaint yn digwydd tu ôl i'r llais ar y radio. Mae'n bwysig iawn i chi cael digon o wirfoddolwyr I gallu sicrhau bod y rhaglenni yma yn mynd allan den, a bod yna ddigon o aelodau I cadw'r radio I fynd.
Ydy. Mae just yn helpu sort of codi safon o wasanaeth y mwy o bobl sydd yna I sort of cyfrannu at rhaglenni, helpu cynhyrchu rhaglenni. Mae safon o wasanaeth yn tyfu.
Gret. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Sam. Diolch. Gobeithio pedwar yn y fech mo bod yna digon o wirfoddolwyr allan yna nawr sydd yn ysu I fod allan a ddechrau gwirfoddoli yn lleoedd unwaith eto. Neu hefyd gwirfoddolwyr falle sydd wedi stopio gwirfoddoli oherwydd y Covid yn ystod yr 19 mis diwetha yma, a bod nhw nawr yn barod I ddod nôl a timlo clywed y sefyllfa nawr gyda chi yn eich mediadau, hearing about the changes in your organisations and that it's safe to come back and volunteer with yourselves. Hopefully we'll get volunteers back and new volunteers as well, or volunteers deciding to volunteer at a different organisation as well. So that's really good to hear, and we hope that from this volunteering fair you will get a few interested volunteers come through.
Yeah, wel, fel oedd Sam yn Gwynedd, wan o cyfleoedd sydd y gael, a fel fi'n credu bod David wedi gweud a Gwynedd, maen nhw gyd yn gweud, mae sio gymryd wahanol gyfleoedd I gael. Ni'n gweithio ar draws ystod eang o oedrannau. So, o genedigaeth bron, a dilyn ni'n gweud ond yr top arall, pen arall o'r oedran. Ni'n gweithio gyda plant cyn ysgol, yn yr ysgol, uwchradd a cynradd. Ni'n gweithio gyda ieuenctid, ni'n gweithio gyda oedolion, pobl wedi ymddeol. Felly mae'r ystod eang o cyfleoedd ar gael. A ni hefyd yn meddwl bod e'n bwysig bod pobl yn cael y cyfle yna i wirfoddoli. Mae rhai sydd wedi bod gyda ni wedi gwirfoddoli gyda ni a wedi mynd mlaen i swyddi achos bod nhw wedi bod allan o waith neu rhywbeth. A ni hefyd yn teimlo yn Cered bod ni eisiau cefnogi'r pobl yna hefyd sydd angen felly mynd nôl i gwaith wedi bod yn sal neu bod nhw wedi symud i'r ardal a bod ddim y cyfleoedd gyda nhw ac ati. So, a ni'n barod hefyd i edrych ar syniadau newydd, felly os oes rhywun yn dod ato ni a gweud, mae syniad hyn gyda ni, allwn ni ddatblygu fe, mae hefyd y cyfleoedd na ar gael hefyd. So, like I say, we're open to any age, any linguistic skill sets, if that makes sense. So if you're a Welsh learner or that you are wanting to learn Welsh, then please get in touch with us because one, we can point you in the right direction, and two, you could hopefully get an opportunity to learn while you volunteer with regards to your Welsh language skills. And it doesn't mean, even if you don't speak Welsh, it doesn't mean that you can't volunteer with us because we're open to anybody helping us out. And again, we like promoting the fact that be it that you are a volunteer, not everybody is an empty nester that have got rid of the children and they've just retired or have time on their hands. Some people may find out of anlook yn y Gymraeg, which dwi'n meddwl amdano yn y Saesneg, through no choice of their own, find that they're not in work anymore. And we're also there to help support them get back into work if they need to as well, through the different opportunities that we have. So, let's see, agored unrhyw.
Great, Llynos, diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much. David, why should we become a volunteer with you in the Hafod Estate?
Hello. Well, in the past, I suppose, when we had more students, you could say there was a mutual benefit there for our organisation where they were getting skills and experience and we were getting work out of them. That's not the only value in volunteering for me. There's a lot more to it. So regardless of what anybody can achieve on Hafod, I want people to come here who need to come here because there's a massive benefit for people who perhaps have mental health problems or anything else going on to get outdoors and do something fun. We've got some of the most breathtaking scenery in mid Wales here. It really is a site of quite significant beauty and historical interest, and there's so much that the community can gain from it. It's not about being a tourist attraction for me as much as it is a place for the local community, stretching as far as Aberystwyth and beyond, for people to use it as a place for recreation or health and well-being or whatever, learning new skills. I just think it's an amazing opportunity for anyone who needs it. So people can reach out to us,
Brilliant, thank you,
David.
Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Thank you, appreciate that. Gwyneth, pam dylen ni ddod I gwirfoddoli gyda chi yn y llyfrgell? Beth y gyda chi gynnig?
Wel, yn y llyfrgell, wrth gwrs, mae lot o drysorau Cymru o ran yn diwylliant ni. A'r hynny mewn sawl gwahanol fformat, ac ewch chi gyfle. Nid yn unig yw gweld nhw, ond yw cyffwrdd nhw pan chi'n gwirfoddoli. Chi'n gwirfoddoli'n aml gyda y fformat gwreiddiol o'r peth chi'n gweithio arno. Mae yna gyfle mai ddysgu pob math o sgiliau gwaith o ran many of our tasks are administrative tasks in the sense that you're maybe creating lists, creating databases. So there's a lot of IT skills and administrative skills you can learn while you're here. Mi gewch chi gefnogaeth, mae yna 2 aelod o staff sydd yn benodol yma i gefnogi gwirfoddolwyr, boed hynny'n gefnogaeth gyda'r dasg i chi'n gweithio arni, neu gefnogaeth i wella chyder chi ag yn y blaen, i ni yma ar eich cyfer chi. We are here for all our volunteers. There are 2 members of staff who are dedicated to supporting our volunteers, whether that's with a volunteering task or with any other pastoral needs, or just to sort of gain your confidence and just feel part of it's quite an intimidating building when you stand there outside and you think, oh my goodness, there's nothing here that I can relate to at all. But actually when you step inside, there is so much here you can relate to, and all our volunteers say what a lovely calming environment the library is, and it's quite a peaceful place to be. The staff are all really, really friendly. We have lovely cups of tea with each other, and when we talk about all kinds of things, some of them I can't even repeat. Neu gewch chi, I ni'n gallu helpu chi gyda costau teithio. We can help you with travel, any travel expenses you have. I ni'n cadw cyfri o oriau'r gwyddolwyr i gyd, felly os ych chi eisiau tystysgrif, gwedwch bod chi yn mynd am swydd a bod chi eisiau tystiolaeth, bod chi'n gallu ymrwymo i rhywbeth, yna bydden ni'n rhoi tystysgrif i chi. Wy'n gallu helpu gyda rhoi geir da i'n gwirfoddolwyr ni sy'n chwilio am waith. I can help with references for people looking for work. I can give you a certificate, acknowledging your volunteering hours. It's a Welsh environment, so if you're learning Welsh, this is a fantastic place to come. We have little chats to siarad Cymraeg around coffee. Felly mae cyfle yma i wella'ch sgiliau iaith chi hefyd. A falle'n fwy na dim, mae cyfle yma i gwrdd â pobl newydd ac i wneud ffrindiau newydd. We're hoping, as well as learning a lot about the Welsh heritage, you meet people, like-minded people, and you can gain new friendships as well. We have people of all ages, all abilities, and we welcome everyone.
Wow, Gwyneth, if that's not a sell, I don't know what is. Mae hwnna'n gwerthu'r llyfrgell i gweithio chi nawr. Os nad ydych chi'n gwirfoddolwyr allan o hwn.
You can even combine 2 tasks. You can come and do your research here, and then you can go down the road to Radio Aber, and you've researched your program, your new ideas, and then you go down the road and you see them through there. That's
the way. That's what we like. Linked up working, joined up working. Fantastic. Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi, Gwyneth. Thank you. Sam, why should we come and volunteer with you at Radio Aber? Pam ddylen ni ddod i wirfoddoli gyda chi yn Radio Aber?
Na i ddechrau trwy ddeud rhywbeth mae pobl eraill wedi ddeud hefyd, ond dysgu sgiliau newydd. Mae cymaint o sgiliau chi'n gallu dysgu o sort of gweithio ar rhaglen radio. Mae'n lot o weithio ar cyfrifiaduron, hefyd helpu gyda hyder a siarad yn gyhoeddus a phethau fel yna. So yes, learning new skills, working, with computers, public speaking, meeting new people. I think meeting new people is a big part of why it can be beneficial to be at a radio station, particularly because we tried to be very ingrained in the community and to be going out to events, meeting people, speaking to people from right across the community, and I think it sort of opens your eyes to who is out there. You meet so many contacts, and I think that's a really thrilling part of being involved in radio. It's sort of you feel very proud. There's a lot of sort of worth that comes from your programs. You got to see you produce something tangible that you can look at and feel proud of. And we're a very sort of small but dedicated and friendly team, and I think there's so many ways that it can help you going forwards. Things like, and as I mentioned before about people who may want to learn Welsh, we've got a great environment with people who can speak with you and speaking on the radio or learning Welsh music. It's really sort of a good environment for that. But yeah, then with the skills that you learn, I think so many of them are so applicable to lots of different jobs, not just broadcasting, but the IT skills, the sound editing skills, the speaking to people on the telephone, the booking and guests and keeping diaries, the technical skills behind the scenes. I think it's all very applicable stuff to future employment as well.
Brilliant, Sam. Thank you so much. Trish, have you got a couple of questions? Trish, oes yna a couple of cwestiynau ti o ti moyn holi?
Yeah, I've got a few questions. I have to say, mae fi wedi, a croeso, y neges o groeso sy'n dod o'r pawb ohonoch chi yn hyfryd. A fi'n gobeithio fi unrhyw sy'n gwrddoli, ddech chi'n cael, byddwn ni'n gwybod wrth y croeso yma'n cael profiad hyfryd. So the welcome that it's radiated from all of you is beautiful. And I have to say that this is generally, I have to say, the experience that all three, Kate, myself and Kate, have when we work with groups and we help individuals find volunteering, that it is a fantastic and lovely experience. Fi'n gobeithio bydd pobl yn fod yn trial gwirfoddoli snag i ni wedi o'r blaen, achos chi wedi rhoi, chi wedi cynrychioli profiad hyfryd i bawb i weld mae gwirfoddoli yn real option i nhw.
Thank you, Trish. Diolch, Trish. Well, thank you. Thank you guys so much for being part of this volunteering fair, our art, culture and heritage volunteering fair. Again, your videos are amazing and we will have them on this volunteering fair, but we were also happy to share them as well on your behalf if you wish us to do so. You know, they're worth people. You definitely need people to see these videos because if it'll attract volunteers, I'm sure it'll attract volunteers to your organisations. You all work in fantastic places, beautiful, stunning buildings, lovely landscape, you know. It's just amazing, basically, that the opportunities that you can provide people and the support, again, as Trish was saying just now, the support that you can provide people as well. So Gwyneth, David, Sam, Llinos, thank you so much for joining us today. Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi am eich cwmni yma heddi gyda ni. Ein Ffair Gwirfoddoli a'r thema yw Celfyddydau, Diwylliant a Threftadaeth. I chi gyd wedi dangos mor glir a mor gymwys fel ych chi'n gallu cefnogi gwirfoddolwyr, beth ych chi'n gallu cynnig gwirfoddolwyr, a fi'n siŵr bydd eich fideos chi yn denu pobl i ddod at eich drysau chi a gofyn, please, chi'n ei ddod i wirfoddoli gyda chi, beth ych chi'n neud, bydd fe'n edrych yn amazing, edrych yn ffantastig, licen ni fod yn gwirfoddolwyr gyda chi. Felly, diolch o galon i chi am eich amser heddi, am paratoi y fideos ar gyfer ni hefyd. Mi fyddwn ni'n rhoi nhw lan ar Facebook ac ar YouTube, a byddwn nhw'n yna wedyn ni i pobl cael gwylio nhw yn ei amser nhw hunain, neu ail-edrych os maen nhw angen. Ond, diolch o ran Trish, Kate a Fined, diolch yn fawr iawn i chi. On behalf of myself, Trish and Kate, thank you so much for being with us today and really appreciate your time. Thank you, diolch i chi.
Croeso, diolch.
Hwyl.